Good afternoon, Steve here from LJ Hooker Penrith. And as you've probably been focusing on, what we're doing at the moment is putting some videos together for people that are local and local businesses. So we're trying to encourage everybody to stay local. And with me today, I've got a mortgage professional, Tony Imbruglia from My Mortgage Professionals.
G'day.
Now, Tony's been in the industry, he's a bit of a veteran.
Yeah.
He's been in the industry since 1975.
I have. I don't look it, I know, but I have.
That's a long time, mate.
Yeah.
I bet you've seen everything that can open and shut, all the ups and downs and what can go wrong and all the good stories that you've got in the industry.
Yeah. Look, I was lending money when interest rates were 18%, mate, back in the 80s, and this is the lowest rates have ever been. So we're going through a really good time at the moment.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a heck of a lot of inquiries floating around in the marketplace at the moment, and maybe you can enlighten us as to what's going on there with the first home buyers especially. And there seems to be a little bit of confusion as to what the first home buyers are entitled to and how they actually go ahead and make the first steps and the inquiries. And maybe you can shed some light on that for us.
Certainly. Look, there is a lot of confusion out there, and there are a number of different schemes and grants that the government has that first home buyers can access. There are certain criteria that they have to meet, but that's where I come in to explain what they can and what they can't do. So of the four, if you like, I can explain a little bit about each.
Please, it'd be great to
Okay. Well, firstly, there's the first homeowners grant, which is the New South Wales government being giving people $10,000 for their purchase. However, that's for either brand new properties or if they're constructing, and there's limits on that. So in the Sydney market, you get the $10,000 if you purchase something up to the value of $600,000, which is not always easy to do in the Sydney market. However, if you're building, you can build on a block of land up to the value of $750 and get the $10,000. So that's the first one. The second one is the the first home buyers assistance scheme, which is also a New South Wales government initiative. And that's where stamp duty either gets waived completely.
That's up to $650.
Up to $650. Yeah. If the purchase price is up to $650, you don't pay any stamp duty, which is great. Between $650 and $800, it's then on a sliding scale. So there are concessions.
That's where the questions have been arising from the buyers that I've had out in the last few weeks.
And look, the only way to really work out what the concession's going to be for you is to use a calculator.
So it's not a sliding scale?
It is a sliding scale, but there's no way to calculate it without using a calculator that's specifically for that purpose.
So where would we find those calculators?
Look, I do have one on my website. If you go to 1300mymortgage.com.au and go to the calculators page and look in the cost calculators, there's a stamp duty calculator in there that will also tell you if you qualify for the first homeowners grant as well.
Great.
So it's dual purpose. It's pretty good.
So the other question I've got for you, there's quite a few people coming to us at the moment with a pre-approval.
Yep.
Can you shed some light on how that operates? Because we found a bit of a delay from people getting a pre-approval, and some of these people have got these pre-approvals from over 6 to 8, 10 weeks ago.
Yep.
Has things changed dramatically in the market?
Look, it actually has. Firstly, if you've got a pre-approval, fantastic. They last 90 days. After the 90 days is over, some banks will extend the pre-approval. Others will need you to apply again. But there are currently some lenders, because of COVID-19, that aren't even doing pre-approved loans. And that's primarily because they're so busy doing refinances for people. That already have loans that are looking for better rates. So if you've got a pre-approval, good on you, keep it, look for that property, talk to Steve and get into something quickly because it will lapse.
The new home builders out there at the moment, so if you're building a new home, what sort of finance is available for developers out in the area?
Well, look, people that are wanting to construct on a block of land, and we'll talk about someone who's looking at land separately and then looking for a builder to build on. We won't talk about home and land packages, because
Yep.
that's really one part contract.
Correct.
And it's as if they're going to just purchase a property anyway. So building loans are really quite easy to do. If you've got a block of land, or you want to buy a block of land and then find a builder, the construction loan process is really quite easy. I make it as simple as possible for people. I see myself as a bit of a project manager, so they don't need to worry about anything. I deal with the lender, and I then deal with the builder as well, and get their progress payments paid as they need them. So I look after all that sort of stuff too.
So give us an idea, if you're a first home buyer at the moment and you're looking to get into the marketplace, what are the first things, what's the first step? Obviously contact yourself.
Look,
and what's the
is.
criteria? Is there a long drawn out phase that you need to go through?
Well, look,
pre-qualifying?
No. Look, I've made pre-qualifying as easy as possible. I've got it down to a 10-minute task for my borrowers. People that want to talk to me, I've got a form that's interactive, that as they answer certain questions, the form either grows or shrinks depending on their circumstances.
Okay.
So I've timed it, I've got it down to 10 minutes. That's all you need to spend on this form, and I can tell you what your borrowing capacity is. I can also explain more about these grants. And for those first home buyers that only have, let's say, a 5% deposit, there is another grant that they can access. It is a limited number of people that can apply for that, 10,000 per financial year. It's called the First Home Loan Deposit Scheme, and that's where you only need 5%. The government will guarantee the other 15% to keep it under an 80% loan to valuation ratio.
That's a big saving.
That means you don't need to pay lender's mortgage insurance.
Oh, that's great.
And look, I have done some of those loans. They are quite complex, but again, that's where I come in. I take all the complexity out.
Very good.
I work with people to help them get what they need. And if it's doable, I'll do it.
Now, Tony's a real local. He lives locally.
Yep.
You're from the Penrith area.
Yep.
And predominantly most of your clientele are in the Penrith district.
Yeah, they are. I do have clients elsewhere. I've even got clients interstate that I haven't met. But because of technology these days, I don't need to get face-to-face either. I can do everything virtually using Zoom meetings. I can identify people remotely. Yep. And I can even sign certain documents without getting in front of people as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can deal with anyone, anywhere.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, the purpose of these little videos that we've been doing through the Facebook and Instagram is to introduce you to some of the locals that are operating in our marketplace at the moment. And I'd like to thank Tony for spending the time today. And if you've got any questions at all, either contact myself or Tony. Would you like to tell us your number?
Yep, certainly. Look, the easiest way to get me is 1300 My Mortgage. That's 1300 69 6678. And have a chat to me.
Thank you very much. I'm Steve Thomas from LJ Hooker Penrith, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.